Lagos, let's ask the women who are listening to us today, are we in this together? It's an important question because we're always talking on the glass ceiling about the fight for gender equality, right? We talk about all the barriers holding women back from taking their full rightful place in society. And that's alongside men as their equals. But there are situations where it's not men or the law holding women back. There are situations where it's women who are holding other women back because they are women. And that's why last week I started to ask you a question. Are we all in this together as women? Just like last week, I mostly want to hear from women today. Men, we love to hear from you on the glass ceiling, but today I want, women to talk to ourselves. Let's tell each other some truths. Last week I talked to you about widowhood. For the past month, we've been talking about widows and what widows experience and what they're dealing with. And some of the stories that you shared with me were stories about women doing some of the terrible things to widows that widows deal with after their husbands die. So it's a woman who will probably shave your head. It's a woman who will make you stay in a hut for days. Or it's women. Sometimes they're widows. Sometimes they're not yet widows. It's women who will, come with their siblings to come and drag your husband's property with you. All kinds of stories. Right? In a lot of our villages, if you check, the people who are actually enforcing or carrying out the cruel practices on widows are usually fellow women. And sometimes they're widows who have experienced that same thing themselves. Now, when we talked about it, there were so many points that different people raised. But one particular conversation that painted clearly the inequality women face was a conversation I had with Cecilia. If you missed that conversation, here it is.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Sandra.
Welcome to the show.
I so thank God for the word that you're bringing us to.
Thank you.
See, in my own town, I'm an Anambra State.
Woman, okay.
Suwa.
Okay.
When my husband died in 1997, we took him home, village, with my children. We did the burial finish. Before, in our place, if you get title, so you can stay in 3 months without bathing. If you don't have 1 month, so we stay 1 month. But the woman these days, they cut it. You can clean your body in the night because maybe you have menses. You can wash it out that time. But you can't do it in where people can see you that hour. So in one month, after 1 month, they call you with your village woman, them, your own village woman and the man village women them. So when they come, one of your sister, if you have girl when you don't born girl, the girl is the one that you will barber your hair, not outside person. Your own daughter. Even though is still a baby, when you touch your head, a senior from your own family will take the razor blade and barber your head. After barbering it, that cloth that you wear, you will remove it. They will take you to the stream with your own women people. So from there, you go to the stream, they show you the stream, go and bath inside the stream. Is you getting it? No any other woman that you can enter there and bath, or man can pass there, no. It's only you one can bath there. When you bath finish, the sponge that you use bath, you throw it away from the bush there. Nobody will enter there. The mat that you use sleep there, they will burn it on the road. That one is ashes.
Now, can I ask a question? When a man's wife dies, does he go through the same thing?
Man goes for our place. Man can stay for the 1 month.
Okay.
Without going anywhere.
Okay.
So after that, his man can take him to bath.
Okay.
Not woman.
So the same thing that they do to women when their husbands die in your place, they also do to men when their wives die in your place.
Yes.
Okay, that's equality.
But we are not drinking the dirty body water. We are not drinking it.
Okay.
We are not drinking it at all.
Okay. All right,
They
Cecilia.
won't do it for you. Unless you are the one who brings that in for your husband. Like say, as a woman go meet another man, he kill your husband. So other people will say, if you do anything that you will kill your husband, he said it. If you don't say it, after 1 month or 3 months, that person is following to die.
Do they do the same to men when their wives die?
If a man do like that, did the same thing, he followed. If you don't know, if he doesn't say anything about those things that he did.
But do they tell men, if you killed your wife, say it, or if you don't say it, after 1 month, you will die? So, for instance, if a man goes and follows another woman, does he die because he went to follow another woman? Or is it just for women who go and follow another man?
The woman that he will follow that is inside their family. If you torture any woman for their family, is going to die.
But the woman, any man at all that she touched, she will die, whether it's inside the family or outside.
Yes.
Is that fair?
Because you are in your husband's place, which is wrong for you to walk about.
But the husband is in his wife's place. It's wrong for him to walk about.
Yes, that's why they said it. If you go mistakenly like that, go touch an inner somebody.
Yes, but if he touches outside somebody, it's okay. But if the woman touches outside somebody, it's not okay.
Yes.
Why?
Because they're married.
The man is also married now.
They don't do it like that.
Why not? That's the question I'm asking. Do you think that that's fair? Do you think it's okay?
For me, if you know yourself, as a married somebody, you keep yourself holy. You keep yourself holy. Don't do like any other person that you don't have husband. No. Like as I was now, I can talk word within the men. But if my husband was alive, I'm not playing with them. I can't talk. Because I know the tradition something. Yes,
I understand. So I understand what you're saying, but the conversation that we're having is, why is the treatment different for men? Why is the treatment for women not the same as for men?
It depends now.
So why is punishment only for one but not the other?
Then they say they're having their own. For my own town, they have.
But you said the punishment for the men in your own town is for only when they do it within the family.
Yes. Within that family, you kill them well.
But for the woman, even if it's outside the family, just like the man, it will still kill me. Is that fair?
I don't know whether they will remove it, because all the whole deadly something, nowadays, they're removing it one by one. We women, we are not punishing ourselves again for our own town. Now you can wear white. Before now, black and black. Like me, I wear black because that time. But now, since then, almost 20 years now that my husband left, they are wearing white.
Okay. So let's start from there. Let's start from that particular tradition, right? So you have a situation where, because this equality conversation that we like to have, I like to have it from a very practical place. Very, very practical. So you have a situation that it's the same tradition. Don't cheat on your wife. Don't cheat on your husband. We all agree that cheating is bad. But if husband cheats on wife with somebody that is not a family member, husband will be alive. But if wife cheats on husband with someone that is not family member, wife will die. Where is the fairness in that? Where's the justice in that? Before you call me and say, nobody should be cheating. Yes, I agree with you completely. 100% nobody should be cheating on anybody. But even though we agree that cheating is bad and nobody should be doing it, if husband cheats, as long as it's not with family member that he cheats with, he's good to go. But if wife cheats with somebody that is not family member, she will die. The only time husband dies is when he cheats with somebody that is family member. In an equal world, in a world where there is justice, whether you cheat with family member or with outsider, you will die. And it will be known. Like the culture will be known that whether you cheat, period, whenever you cheat, period, as a man or as a woman, with family member or non-family member, you will die. That's what equality looks like. That's what fairness looks like. Why isn't it like that? Why is there a different set of rules for women than for men? And now you're about to call me and tell me, because the man married the woman. But the woman also married the man. If as a man you say to a woman, please marry me, and she says, no, I'm not marrying you, will you marry yourself? Maybe you can look for another woman that will agree to marry you. Woman has to agree to marry you before you marry. The days of, carrying the woman over your shoulder and going to your house, are gone forever. So now she actually needs to consent to the marriage. So the same way you asked her to marry you, she agreed to marry you. If she's the one that asked you to marry her, you agreed to marry her. So you both agreed to marry each other. That's why if you did a Christian marriage, they both make two of you swear to each other. So nobody is doing the other a favor. Both of you agreed to get into a union. How come within that union, there are different rules for one gender and the other? When you're supposed to be in a mutually beneficial union, why are there different rules for one? So let's start there. This conversation, I spent an entire week thinking about it, and I just couldn't wrap my mind around it. I couldn't wrap my mind around. The fair thing will be once you cheat, you die. Whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, once you cheat, you die. I liked when she talked about, as a man, if your wife dies, they also lock you inside the house and shave your head and make you bathe in the stream, etc., etc. That is equality. That is fairness. Why not carry it over into this traditional belief system as well? And if you even expand the conversation to any number of beliefs, standards that we set for men and women, you begin to see the inequality there. Why is that? I specifically want to hear from women, but I'm also going to take the calls of men today. 0700-993-993 993 0700 993 993 993. Hello. Turn your radio off. What's your name?
Hello, my name is Philip. Good afternoon, Sandra.
Philip, good to have you on the show.
Yeah. Your topic is very interesting. But you see, from beginning, God has never made everything equal. Even your fingers, you check it.
God actually made man and woman equal.
Listen, please. Man can marry as many wives as he can.
In some cultures, women can marry as many husbands as they want.
Bible.
In some cultures, women can marry as many husbands as they want to.
A woman cannot marry two men.
She actually can. In some cultures, she can.
Well, that argument, get as it be.
You know, get as it be. It is a statement of fact.
In a marriage, one has to be lower than other.
Why?
That is why the woman is called a weaker sex in the Bible.
Who called the woman a weaker sex in the Bible? Where in the Bible did they say that?
Sandra,
I'm listening, Philip. Where in the Bible was it said that the woman is the weaker sex?
Let me tell you. Sorry for Western education. Things have changed. But woman supposed to be submissive to his husband.
Husband is also supposed to be submissive to the wife. Did you see that part of the Bible?
Auntie Sandra, just listen to me.
Uncle Philip, I'm listening. I'm questioning the things you're saying to me.
There is no way anywhere two things can be the same. One must be lower.
That's not true.
Just get it.
That's not true.
That is just because
that's
the
not
man
true.
Is meant to take care of the woman, not the woman taking care of the man.
Why can't they both take care of each other?
Well, it was not meant like that, but
Who said it wasn't made like that? Even in your Bible, it said the man leaves his family, joins his wife, and they become one. If they become one, where did they say that the man is above the woman or the woman is weaker than the woman or than the man?
Yes, because the man paid the bride price.
Okay, so explain to me why in India, where the woman pays the groom price, the woman is still not the head of the home.
That is India. We are talking of culture.
No, it's still culture. I'm still explaining to you how in a society, if it's about bride price, there are cultures where the woman pays the groom price and she still doesn't enjoy superiority in the marriage. Why?
That is their belief over there. Just like in the Western world, where woman has right to slap man in a public.
The woman actually doesn't have right to slap man in public and nothing happens.
Some places.
That's actually a lie. That's actually false.
Just understand that culture is different.
Which culture? When you say culture, what are you talking about? I've just given you examples of a culture where a woman can marry more than one husband. I've given you a culture where women pay the groom price, and it still doesn't change things for women.
I am telling you, from beginning, men used to marry more than one wife. But in the New Testament, Apostle Paul said that a good servant of God need one wife.
And you are talking about from the Christian perspective. You're talking Philip, you are talking about the Christian perspective. Now, what about those who are not Christians?
I don't know.
So why should society be built on Christian ideology when everybody is not a Christian?
Well, I am in the world. I'm not of the world. I will do my own thing.
Exactly. The world is made up of Christians and non-Christians. Why is it that whenever the conversation about men and women comes up, we want to use Christian doctrine to dictate it?
Yes, Sandra. Listen, I must marry a believer like me. That is where people are getting it wrong. Women who believe what I believe, you understand me, is good to go with me. By the time I'll start looking for somebody outside where I belong, that's where the problem comes in.
So you're telling me that the Bible is your culture. I thought we were talking about culture before. Where's bride price? Okay, so the Bible is your culture as a Christian.
Yes.
Where are you from?
Whatever I see there is what I practice.
Where are you from?
I'm from Ebonyi State.
Ebonyi State. So your culture as an Ebonyi man is you've relegated that one, and now you're adopting the Bible as your culture.
How do you mean?
You just said to me that what you see in the Bible is what you're practicing, not what Ebonyi people practice as their culture, right?
Light has come, my sister. Forget about that. Light has come.
Oh, light has come. Except when it's time for women's rights to be recognized, then we're in darkness, okay? Mr. Philip, thank you so much for calling me. 0700-993-993. Where is the fairness? Where is the justice? Like I said to Mr. Philip, you have situations where you have a man and a woman, they commit the same crime. The same exact crime. Right? And we find a way to punish the woman more than the man. We find a way to say, oh, the woman's own is worse. That's why in Cecilia's culture, whether the woman cheats with inside family man or outside family man, she will die. But the man, as long as he's cheating with outside family woman, is good to go. The only time he dies is when he cheats with inside family woman. And I'm asking you, where is the fairness in that? If you're female, please call me on WhatsApp. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. 080-959-75805. If you are a woman who doesn't think that this conversation of equality is a conversation that is absolutely necessary, please, I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear, where your insights are coming from, right? So WhatsApp is 0700-993-993. 993 We have somebody on WhatsApp who says, Sandra, anybody that comes to you with Bible quotes, kindly cut them off. They always quote the part of the Bible that massages their masculine ego and bias. I like the way you gave it to Mr. Philip. He has no logic, purely based on emotion. Victor from Ijegun says, we've got somebody who says, even when God wants to punish Adam and Eve, he explicitly gave their punishment. So you what say? I'm trying to understand what you're saying. So you want to say God should have given them the same punishment? So you want to say God should have given them this? Yes, actually. A lot of the doctrine that you hold on to, a lot of the subjugation of women is from religion. But that's a conversation we'll have when I come back from leave. We'll talk about how the religion subjugates women, how religions subjugate women. But we'll talk about that after my leave. There's a man calling me on WhatsApp. Don't call me on WhatsApp if you're male. WhatsApp calls women only. If you're male, you call me on WhatsApp, I will block you. We've got Sage from Ojo who says, I don't like it when people bring the Bible into this. The Bible was written at a time when ignorance and unfair treatment towards women were paramount. The world changed since then. If we're talking Bible, Jesus was a feminist because he always gave women equal rights. When Mary Magdalene was brought towards Jesus for trial, he never prejudiced the sex. He gave fair and equal justice. Please, Nigerians should stop using the Bible without being fair. We've got somebody else who says, good afternoon, Sandra. The gender balance should also extend to women marrying more husbands like men do and also pay bride price. In Niger Republic, women marry more than one man. You know, because a lot of you are not well traveled, a lot of you are not well read, so you don't even know what's obtainable in other cultures, and so you think your culture superimposes the lived experiences of other people. When we talk about equality and the conversation for equality, the fight for equality, we're talking about having a society where what is obtainable isn't dependent on your personal beliefs, your culture, your religious beliefs, which are what personal beliefs are really. It's a society that allows that as long as a man and a woman are capable of doing a particular thing, they should do it. A man and a woman should be judged simply on their ability, simply on their capacity, not based on their gender. A woman should be respected because she's a human being, not because she's somebody's mother or sister or wife. That's the society we want. We don't want a society that is determined by your culture, because there are 1,000,000 cultures. There are 1,000,000 religions. There are 1,000,000 personal beliefs. And we cannot have a society that is predicated upon your personal beliefs, your religion, your culture. Because I told you that in Niger Republic, there are people, women, who marry more than one man. It's their culture. Now imagine that they're listening to this radio show and, they're hearing you say, it's because I pay bride price. Okay. In India, where women are subjugated, women pay the dowry. They pay groom price and they're still subjugated. So if it's about, Nami marry you, well, what's the conversation about that? What's the arguments there? You're listening to Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. We're going to talk about tariff increase on electricity and fuel hikes from 5 p.m. Don't miss that conversation. But right now, I'm asking the women who are listening if we are in this fight together. Are you a woman who doesn't believe that men and women are equal? I want to hear from you. Give me a call via WhatsApp. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805.
This is the Glass Ceiling on Hard Facts. This is the glass ceiling on Hard Facts.
It's 4:30. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. Women, are we in this together? Or do some women feel like these fights that women are fighting against the system are not worth it? As a woman, do you believe there's nothing specifically wrong with these systems and that the women who are agitating against them are overreacting? Or do you maybe believe that even if it's bad or difficult, it's just the way it is? It's just the way it's meant to be. So there's no use fighting it. Do you think as a woman, maybe this is simply a man's world and women are better off adjusting to it rather than, fighting it? In short, do you believe that in some fundamental ways, women and men are not equal? Now, before we move forward, let me remind you that equal does not mean identical. When I say that women and men are equal, I'm not saying that women and men don't have differences. I am simply saying that those differences should not translate to different levels of access to benefits and opportunities in society. If you understand that fundamentally, I don't think you and I will be clashing right this second. Women and men should have identical rights. Before today, for generations, society has given men preferential treatment over women. And what has happened is that you've had women who are economically, societally, culturally, educationally, politically disadvantaged. So women are starting the race on average behind men. If you allow the race to start like that, women will always be behind. That's why we have a conversation. We're having several conversations again and again and again about how we can cancel that unfair advantage men have had for generations by bringing women forward to the same starting point. So conversations about inheritance, conversations about equal access to education, conversations about policewomen and policemen having the same marriage rules, conversations about any position at all that a man can occupy, a woman should be able to occupy it as well. That's what the conversation for equality is. Now, we know that a lot of men do not think that this should be happening. How can you, abomination? But for the women, this is supposed to be for you. Do you even think it's a fight that is even worthy to begin with? 0700-993-993-993. We have several women who are calling me via WhatsApp, so I'm going to try and take a few of those calls. 0700-993-993-993. WhatsApp for women only. WhatsApp for women only is 080 959 75 805 080 959 75 805. So I've got Yemisi on the line. Hello, Yemisi.
Hi, Sandra. How are you?
Very well. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. So I've been listening in and all about how we women are not each other's champions. I think that going forward, women have to start bringing up their boys a little bit different. And bringing up their girls a little bit differently. It might not necessarily be in our generation, as much as I would love it to be in our generation, but it's more likely to be in the generation coming up. We need to start doing things a little bit differently now. women have to start bringing up their children differently. Purposefully. I think that's the word now. Things have to change. And women also have to bring, I think there's a lot of maybe not envy sometimes with women amongst themselves. So some women really look forward to putting other women down. Do you see what I mean?
But you know, Yemisi, that's not a female problem. That's a human problem. But over time,
yes,
we've made that conversation a female conversation. So I have a friend who, in his place of work, right, he had a colleague spread a rumor about him in the office. A male colleague spread a rumor about him in his place of work. A rumor that could have gotten him into serious trouble. A rumor that could have gotten him fired. Right? And it caused quite the uproar, right? Now, when I heard about that, I started to think about, if this were two women in the conversation, it would have been about, oh, women are jealous of each other, women are envious of each other, they never saw. But it's just a human issue. It's a human issue. It's not about women.
Is true. Absolutely. But women are also human beings, and that's the point.
Yeah, but we don't think of women as human beings.
Ways to damage each other. Men maybe don't think about women like that.
Even women, we don't think of women as human beings. We think of women as these creatures who should be above the fray and holy and purer and better, and that's where the problem starts.
I honestly can. Those women have issues themselves, unfortunately. We don't have enough psychologists around here, to be honest with you. A lot more women need to talk out their issues. I think that's the most important thing. Women have deep-seated issues, and they basically self-sabotage. I think that's maybe what it is. Self-sabotaging ourselves. To make ourselves feel like we are more than we actually are. You see what I mean? A woman that's not feeling good about herself will not be able to appreciate any other woman doing good, or they take up the holier than thou attitude, and then they feel like they are more than they actually are. That makes any sense. But I think that going forward, though, generally women, we really have to start working with the younger generation, with our children.
Yemisi, thank you so much for calling to share your thoughts. You know, because that's also like part of the conversation, you know? This thing I just talked about with Yemisi, and Yemisi raised a point about self-sabotage and how when women don't have a positive image about themselves, they tend to want to sabotage themselves and others. But that's a human thing, isn't it? It's a human thing, isn't it? Why don't we think of women as human beings? So, for instance, you have people who say, oh, women should be politicians. They should have political power. They should get into political office. And then you now be like, but it's not the kind of women like Dear Zainu. After all, she went there and stole money. And when we say that thing, we say it in a way that kind of connotes that women should not steal money. Are women not human beings? Are women not greedy and selfish and wicked the same way men are? It's almost like, oh, we expect men to steal because they are men. But a woman, how can a woman go on? No, she's a human being. That's where the problem starts from first. So if you think of her as this paragon of character, paragon of purity, paragon of all the things you want to ascribe to her, you begin to see this person that cannot fail, that cannot falter. And so your punishment for her is so harsh that when she commits adultery with anybody at all, she dies. In a situation where if a man commits that same adultery with outsiders, he doesn't die. Only dies when he commits the adultery with his family members. How do we change that? How do we change that? Reminds me of a conversation I had with somebody last week, right? As well, another lady called into the show, and here's what she said.
I really enjoyed your conversation with Cecilia, what deduced from that is the generation gap, really. You know, she being an older woman in that generation where they were practicing all those things, I know that probably, okay, they're still practicing those things in some villages. In my own place, actually, I'm from Anambra State as well, and I'm from New precisely. I know that about the time I was a kid, and I'm in my 50s right now, actually, you know, but I know that the time I was a kid and growing up, you know, such things, they were happening in some places, you know, they were happening and people shaving of hair. But the one I never really understood or knew about that was about the people, you know, drinking the water from washing the body and so on. And the story I was hearing in those days wherever it happened, it was suspected that the woman killed her husband. But these days, in my place, it does not happen anymore. You see, sometimes culture is defeated by what? Who are you? Who is who? How, you know, your influence. And again, in Christianity, one major thing that has dealt with that culture in my town is culture. I mean, it's a religion.
Okay.
Church, the born again. When the born again churches, you know, the churches, both the Catholic and Anglican, they were revived, so to say. Okay. Those things, you know, they died. Like a very close cousin of mine lost her husband last month. You know, it's all what they'll be encouraging the lady not to cry, you know, be singing, making her happy, even make her dance, and all those things about shaving hair and carrying baskets back and front from her place. So, you know, all those things, they have removed all those. Okay. And then there was this, my uncle, who passed 2 years ago. His family wasn't part of this born again thing, but he had grown old and he died at 8 years so. And his children had grown up, and you know, he had children who were doing very well, you know. And then the mother was supposed to come, you know, do the is it head shaving or something, you know. But she went to my other uncle's wife, who is a born again, and just told her that, look, she's not going to do then that they should protect her. She's not going to do this. And after all, her children have also made money. So, and nobody should touch her. You know, so such things, you know, there are things that, you know, there's a place that one gets. And there are...
so you're saying that the thing has levels, you understand? So depending on your status... depending on... Yeah, but it shouldn't be like that now.
Anybody in my town right now.
Okay.
Nobody can enforce it on anybody. And the way you've been talking about is stand up for yourself, or women stand up for other women. You know, it is happening these days in my place. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen anymore.
Good.
It doesn't happen anymore.
I'm glad to hear it.
If you like, but some women will still choose to shave their hair for their husband because they feel it's a sign of love. Okay. They're showing the sign of love for their husband.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with women choosing by themselves. So that's the entire point. Yeah. The entire point is to let women choose what they want to do. So if she says, I want to shave my head as a way to honor my husband, that's fine. But don't force her to do it, and then definitely don't come and shave her head by force with a bottle.
Yes, and using broken bottle. That's my goodness, very absurd, really. So I want to touch on this women, what they say, women hating themselves and women doing this and that. You know, I wouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't use the word hate, but you know, it just took me back to when we were growing up. You know, girls. Is it not girls who will say, did you hear that this one? This girl is pregnant too. Hey, you know, is it not this one? Hey, they'll go and gossip. And what is it called? Even when they will say, this one has died of abortion. Who died committing abortion? Hey, it's the ladies that will now. Is this girl that will carry it? They will laugh and laugh. It's even the men
that will be what I say the older men, because I remember my uncle in those days. If we ever try to say such a thing, he will be very angry at us.
But men gossip too. But you know, Bibi, men gossip too. Are you watching Big Brother?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't,
if you were, there are people who are listening to me. I'm not watching either, but from my social media, I know that there was a character in the house who was called Bright. And Bright was the biggest gossip in the house, and he will be knocking people's heads together. And you find that if you think about it, there are times when all you say to a guy is hello, but that guy will go and tell all his friends that he has done things with you, and you haven't done anything with that guy. So human beings gossip. It's just something that human beings do. We gossip as human beings. How come it's the one that women do that has been turned into women don't like each other or support each other? But if you think about your life, you will know that there's a number of women in your life who have supported you and even helped you and made you grow. Think about it.
A lot. It's not hatred, I will call it. It's just that I think they want to be better. I want to be better than the other one. That's probably the best, the way I would describe it. Think of it while you are driving. You know, a woman will hardly give you another woman way. It's even when she's you know, if you are trying, if you think that you've made, you know, getting a position to now drive in front of her, and she sees that he's the woman, you know, sometimes she will just pull faster. You know, that I don't know. Is it a competition? I think the word hatred is not it. It's competition.
Competition.
So for these women, competition. So these women who do this thing, like they shave head, it happened to her. Oh, maybe she felt that during her own time it happened to her. Isn't this one will this one escape it?
Isn't that just wickedness? Isn't that one is not competition? That was just wickedness.
Some women, I told you in my hometown is not practiced anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some women who went through it, who are angry that why is it not happening? That it should continue to happen after they went through it. You see that? So women are, you see, we are our own, I won't say enemies, you know, but we are our own undoing.
All right, baby. And that conversation happened last week. We are our own undoing. And my question, because I went home, every day at the end of the show when I go home, I think about the conversations that we've had, right? And so I kept going over the points that she made. I went over those points again and again and again. And I said, you may be right that we are our own undoing. But the same can be said of men. The same way they say, oh, men, they used to support themselves. There's a, bro code. There are men who break the bro code all the time. Just like there are women who hide other women. There's competition. Women compete, men compete as well. But for centuries, we have just spotlighted that women own, because we know that once you divide the house, it cannot stand. And so women have been sold for years that, oh, you're each other's enemy. Oh, you're competing for something. Oh, you're fighting. You don't support each other. But you think about it. You think of examples of, say, university. You're in your girlfriend's room. And some girl who is in that room bunking for free, housing for free for about 1 year will come to lament to you and your girls them about, oh, women are victimizing me. If not for the men that send me money, I don't die. And all of you will be there nodding, it's true. Women don't support each other. Including you, a woman who is housing another woman for free. Including you, a woman who comes to cook in that room every day, and all of you will share the food. The ones that you go and meet when you miss your period and you think you're pregnant is your fellow babes that you go and run to and meet when you think you're pregnant. When lecturer harasses you, your fellow babes, that's who you're going to go and meet. When cult boys slap you for not responding when they do, when your boyfriend breaks your heart, your same women are the ones you go to go and meet and say, babe, how far? See what they do me. And these are women. They're not men. They're women. In school, these were the women who were keeping seat in class for you. who are helping you to carry your clothes from the line when rain falls, who are lending you 200 naira to buy pad. She can't dash you the 200 naira because she's poor like you. Because now university all of una day. But we've been groomed to look at all of these sacrifices that women make for each other as normal. And then we now treat the treatment we get from men as, a special something. We put it on a higher pedestal. And of course, there are men that help women. There are men that truly help women, right? But I don't think it's true that women are women's enemies. It's not true. Human beings don't like human beings. It's the way the world works. Some women don't like other women. Some men don't like other men. We've had men who have done their best to sabotage somebody and have them fired from their place of work. Men who will go behind your back and steal your contract, steal your babe, sleep with your wife. Fellow men. But we don't have those conversations in the way we have it when we're talking about women. For women, we give it an extra sinister motive because we don't think of women as human beings. We need to knock that pedestal that we've placed women on. We need to knock it down. Knock it down. Women are human beings. Women can't all hold hands together and sing Kumbaya. That's not the way the world works. It's not the way the world works. If we begin to see women as human first, then we will begin to recognize all the unfair, unjust things we do to women. That's what I believe. On Twitter, we've got a comment from Benedict who says, we've put women at this high pedestal, not thinking they are human first before being a woman. Me, I'm from this generation. I try to see myself as equal to a female, not the other way around. Well, thank you for sending your message in. We've got somebody else who says, Sandra, you're my star. Keep fighting the good fight. Thank you for sending your message in. Lamel says, to me, I think there are some cases women and men can never have the same equality, especially when it comes to sporting activities. But I think it should be equal in a marriage. Well, again, let's go back to the earlier point I made. Equal doesn't mean identical. Equal doesn't mean identical. I said that last week. I'm saying that again today. Equal doesn't mean identical. Saying that women and men are equal doesn't mean that somebody is saying that men and women don't have differences. It simply means that those differences should not stop them from accessing benefits and opportunities in the society. It simply means that I should be able to inherit my father's property. It simply means that I should be able to go to school. It simply means that as a policewoman, I should not take permission from my superiors in the office before I marry, when policemen are not doing it. It simply means that any position at all that a man can occupy, a woman should be able to occupy it. That's what it means. That's what equality means. So it's not a contest about who is stronger. Oh, you can't open the door, please. Are you 2 years old? Let's have intelligent conversations, I beg. It's not about who is stronger than who can break axe. If it's like that, why you go and be a hunter now? Go to the bush and go and hunt. Why are you working in an AC office and driving AC car? Trek, the way our forefathers and our grandfathers used to do it. It's about we are in a society now where equal opportunities have to exist. Equal access has to exist. That's it. So no, your religion doesn't matter in this conversation. Your culture doesn't matter in this conversation if your culture subjugates women. What matters is, can she have access? Does she have access? Does she have equal opportunities as the man? That's what equality means. And that includes equal punishment. So if Babio is accused of corruption and Diezani is accused of corruption, Diezani's the reaction to Diezani's corruption should not be, hey, a woman, hey! It should be, how can a Nigerian be so fantastically corrupt? How can a politician be so fantastically corrupt? Oh, put her in prison. Oh, jail her. If, of course, the allegations are found to be true, because let's not forget the allegations have not been proven yet. That's what it should be, always. It's not, hey, woman. Because women are human beings. That's it. We're going to have this conversation yet again when I come back from leave. After tomorrow, I'll be on leave for like 2 weeks. Let me go and rest. Because I'm tired. And my tired is tired. But this conversation will continue when I come back. I'll hand you over to Agogo. You'll be in good hands. Don't worry. Don't miss me too much. And of course, I'll be online. And we can, talk about all these things on my social media. My social media is Ezekwesili, right? And you can listen to my podcast if you miss me too much. Hard Facts is available as a podcast. The Glass Ceiling Show is available as a podcast as well. So go online, search for these two podcasts and listen to your heart's content until I am back. But yeah, let's switch gears. Let's bring you a special report from my newsroom, and then let's talk about the hike in fuel and electricity prices. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili.
Hard Facts will be right back.